What's going on, guys? Investment Coach Chris here, and today we're going to be looking at some stock positions. We're mainly focusing on UNG, which is natural gas, and I'm going to be pausing throughout the day and just basically just trying to talk y'all through trading a stock. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's go. Alright, so I do most of my trading on my phone. So, have my phone down here. DGAZ and UGAZ. I'll pull this up for some level 2 data. Alright, so DGAZ is currently in an uptrend for the day. Right here, it's overall been in a very bearish market, but it's peaked up today. So the question is, if you see the spot over here, the 5-day, 5-minute, pull this back. If you look at the 5-day, 5-minute chart, you can see that DGAZ had a nice little run earlier from down here from 776 all the way up, and for the day DGAZ is actually kind of running somewhat strong during this period, but as you can see over the last 20 days DGAZ has definitely been in a very bad downtrend, because DGAZ is basically gonna keep going up in value if natural gas consumption is low. But given the futures report, which is right here, UNG, futures report says that natural gas consumption is increasing, and it's increasing due to the abnormally warm climate. So we're over here in UNG in our position. We got in earlier. Earlier today it was kind of in a rise, so we kind of got in right around this price level right here, about 30.72ish or something. But no, not 30.72. For UGAZ, I think we're about 128, 129. So we're down right now. But what I want to pay attention to is, if we pull the charts up and we look at UNG, if we look at UNG right here, remember UNG is gas. UGAZ does good if gas goes up, and DGAZ does good if gas goes down. But if we look at a 20-day 1-hour chart, we can clearly see that gas spiked up, come back, spiked up, come back. So I am hoping that natural gas remains bullish and continues to go in this up channel that I've drawn for you guys right here. Can you see that channel? The channel's going up, back, up, back. You never know what's going to happen in the market, so at best you're trying to leverage your decision based on the probability of what you see in patterns. So that's kind of what we're doing. We have the SPY over here. That's just the S&P index as a whole. Sometimes I like to keep it up just to, sometimes when you trade, you'll notice sometimes you'll see some correlations between gas is doing good or bad based on whether there's spikes in the SPY or not. I don't really hold too much weight to it. I pay more attention to the futures report, but I tend to have the SPY up. So it's kind of boring right now, you know, just sitting here kind of waiting. You guys is kind of having a sign that it's breaking up. So you guys kind of went down. It's a little bit disappointing today because I was down like 2%, which, you know, I felt like I'm kind of tracking this stock right, but it's very possible that when I got in, I was just getting in a little too early. So excuse me. Yeah, so you guys is it's definitely showing some signs back up, pulling up, but right now, what a little bit that is unsettling is the fact that natural gas climbed up. It broke above the SMA, but then it came back down, and now it's testing this middle exponential, this little short day average I have. So it's kind of fighting right about the parabolic right here. So you have to excuse me. I'm really hoping that it loses its steam on the 5-day, 5-minute. And then I'm hoping that the stock continues to move downward below. Now DGAZ currently has a lot of sellers over here. So if we look at our level 2 data right here, remember level 2 is talking about how many bids and asks there are. If you have any questions or don't know what that means, feel free to post a question, and I'll do my best to answer. If you saw that little move right there, it was green and then it pulled back, which is kind of what we want. DGAZ has been in a little uptrend right now, and it's been frustrating because overall all the futures reports are saying that natural gas consumption is up. So it's really frustrating to see. I think that maybe people are just trying to go against it for one day, but you know, overall, just like I showed you earlier, you know, going back to the 20-day 1-hour chart, we have a clear indication of which direction this is going over a 20-day period. UNG is still climbing back up a little bit, but you know, looking at a 20-day 1 hour is different when you're trying to do what I'm doing, which is kind of more like a day trade type style. If you were to hold this for a month, more than likely UNG is going to be on your side, but I'm trying to capitalize on the trend during the day, trying to scalp maybe 3 to 5, if it's a good pop, maybe 5 to 10%. But I was in about 128, 129, so going down to 126, 27 price range. It's about $2 to $3 down from my average cost, but it has a potential to go up to $10. So I'm risking a $3 decrease to have a potential 10 plus increase, and that's based on the charts that we're seeing right here on the 20-day 1 hour. You know, natural gas again, it seems to really, on the most part, be pushing up, but we are having some indications that it's pulling back a little bit for today. So it comes to the difference between a daily trade versus a long trade. So we're going to see what happens at the end of the day, whether I make money or I lose money. I will put this video up online, which I'll start doing more regularly. Probably do a couple trading videos in the morning, and then we'll mix that in with some training videos about things that might help you guys become better traders. Any questions you have, feel free. So now we're back at the 5-day 5-minute chart. We really want to see UNG. You see this is kind of like a spinning top, and then it's mixed in with kind of like an inverted hammer or a hammer. So price was up, came down skinny, and then pulled back up. It's kind of thicker on the top. This one's red thick, this one's green thick, and this one's a little doji. So this doji is hopefully gonna signal that this is getting weaker, especially with our RSI and our MACD. It still is up, but it kind of reminds me more of these kind of look like they could be kind of moving down, and these look like they could be crossing to go up. Now I'm not trying to pin a reversal, because you may look at this and be like, oh, I'm trying to time a reversal. Actually, I'm not. I'm actually in the stock that's currently in the uptrend, the UGAZ. If I was trying to time a reversal, I would actually be in the DGAZ today, which, given that UGAZ shot up 20% the other day, it's very possible that DGAZ is going to try to gain some of that back. which you see that little pop on the left, which it did. So one thing that I may do, or I will do, is I'll get DGAZ over here, right? I'll have DGAZ over here, and what I'm going to do is, if it looks like DGAZ is going to continue bullish for a little bit, I'll buy into DGAZ, and as it goes up, as it goes up, as it goes up, I will see if it goes up to this level, and then hopefully, since we've been coming up and then pulling back, I can sell at the top, and then I can kind of hedge my position. One thing that's a strategy, and it can be advantageous if done accurately and correctly. I have you guys on a longer time frame is going up, but within that long time frame of an ascending pattern, there will be dips within that long time frame. So sometimes you can bet against your bet, and if you're in your shorter time frame, you can sell your DGAZ but keep your UGAZ position, so you kind of hedge your bet so you can make money when it goes long or short. It's also very similar as if you were to maybe buy a stock in the tech sector but then do an option to go against it. It's kind of a popular strategy, but let's pull up the level 2 data and see what we're working with. Got a lot of people wanting to sell UGAZ, and a lot of people wanting to buy DGAZ, so it may be one of those days to where I have to really add more to my hedge, you know. So we're gonna see, probably get a little bit of DGAZ right now, just to I may. So what I'm probably gonna do is, if DGAZ continues to try to pull back up, I'll probably get a little bit and try to scout from here to here. Given that UGAZ started out so strong in the first 15-minute candle, and it's been in such a riot and up, and natural gas is up, and then the consumption is up, I just find it really hard to believe in DGAZ for this point. Now I can understand that DGAZ will have moments where it shoots up and scalps, but I'm having a really hard time believing the story that DGAZ is trying to tell today. It's just, it feels like a lie. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is, so these videos aren't extraordinarily long, I'm going to pause it, and then I'll let you guys know when some action happens, okay? Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Investment Coach Chris back. I think last time I just unpaused. We were kind of floating around this parabolic, so it's only been like 20 or 30 seconds, but basically DGAZ started to get a push down. It's kind of crossed below the parabolic right here. What we're really wanting to happen in an ideal situation, we really want this red to keep going below and cross below this exponential, and we really want UGAZ. My plan originally was to hold UGAZ and see if we can get up to don't know the percentage exactly, but I know the dollar amount I'm looking at. I have it marked over here. I wanted to sell it around the 140 mark, which I don't know the exact percentage, but I know it was a 3.8 to 4 to 1 ratio. So the dropping, I was willing to take a 2% loss. I think it was an 8 to 10% gain. I think it was 8 to 10%, 6 to 9, something like that. But UNG just did a pop, which is awesome. It's also cool getting it on camera, which is always cool. So let's see what happens. UNG decided, hey, it's cold weather out. That's good. So came back down. We kind of tested this orange line. If you're wondering what that orange line is, it's just part of my middle VWAP. So the volume weighted average price is just my middle VWAP line, basically. So once we hit that middle VWAP, we started to go back up in an uptrend, which is always cool. Uptrends are awesome because what they do is they show us that the confirmation of our charting, which, you know, if you've done any sort of trading in the past, you know we're all about a lot of technical analysis is based on charting, while there's fundamental analysis, which is seeing what's going on in the current state. And a lot of times we like to compare our fundamentals with our technicals. I think technical analysis is very good, but fundamental is going to be the most of the driver of the price. So when you compare the fundamental and technical analysis together, and you find out that, lo and behold, the technical analysis is a confirmation to what your fundamental analysis is showing, that's a very, very good thing. So that's the dream, is to align those two together. And if you can do that, and you can stay profitable, and you can manage your risk, trading can be a great profit for you. So UNG, if you see here, this blue exponential average is just been crossed. So crossing the exponential average is a bearish indicator, a signal to us that it's bearish. We also have a crossing right here of the MACD crossing up. That's for UNG. Remember, UNG is going to be a direct correlation with the UGAZ and an inverse correlation with DGAZ. So if UGAZ goes up, or if UNG goes up, UGAZ goes up. If UNG goes down, DGAZ goes up. So a futures report, UNG compared with the SPY, which is the S&P index, basically. We're going to compare those two, right? And again, the SPY is not necessary depending on your platform, but I do find that seeing how the overall market moves in comparison with the UNG futures, and then balancing those between my UGAZ and my DGAZ positions, which are basically opposing or antagonistic stocks. So I hope that makes sense. Now, if there's anything I've mentioned or said that does not make sense to you, please feel free, and I want you to post a comment. I want you to, anyone watching this video, I want to teach and educate. What was that? I want you to teach and educate. I want to teach you and educate you more on the fundamental analysis and technical analysis of trading. If you do enjoy these videos, you know, my little plug, feel free to check out my Patreon. The link is in the description. But we've crossed the parabolic SMR. We have crossed the exponential. We have more sellers than buyers on the inverse. Yes, we did do a slight drop right there, but we've already crossed the exponential. So if we come back and test this 5-day exponential, my purple line is a 5-day exponential, my green is a 180 SMA, and my blue is a 15 exponential. So my pink and blue line, I like to see my pink line, which is again that 5-day exponential. I want to see it continue to move up and cross that blue line. To me, that's a good indicator for a potential reversal. Let's see. So again, it's pulling back down. DGAZ continues to test the exponential, and it continues to stay above. So what we really want to see is we really want to continue to see this test. Now, as you can see currently, we are in a descending pattern at the point. within a line right here. We are making lower highs at the moment, which is something that we definitely want to continue for this channel, at least until we can try to get around this area, maybe even lower. Right through here, that's a little too high. Maybe perhaps from here to here. It's a little crooked, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I definitely want to drop from here to here. So ideally, this is what I'm hoping the down funnel would look like in a sense. I'm hoping that we will continue to go around this line, and once we get through here, maybe we do a breakdown. Whereas on DGAZ or UGAZ right here, and again, this is all just some quick analysis. This doesn't mean that 100% this is going to happen. That's not how the stock market works. For those of you that think you're going to be completely accurate and always know what's going to happen, the stock market's not for you. At best, you're trying to get your best probability with a slight edge, with a proper risk management of 2 to 1, 3 to 1, or 4 to 1, because you will lose. You will lose many times in the stocks. But if your risk reward management is on par, then you lose 3, you may lose 2 in a row, may lose 3 in a row, make 1. But if you're getting 3 to 4 to 1 odds on risk management, then in the long run you will be a successful trader. But you must learn to manage your risk before that happens. And normally, the only way that teaches you how to manage your risk is a big loss. Which, not trying to scare you, but in my opinion, once you have a big loss, you'll say, oh, wow, maybe I should have managed my risk a little better. So, UNG is going a little bit bearish at the moment, again. So, I'm going to open up my DGAZ right here, and it is a potential that if I still feel like DGAZ is still pushing down because it's making higher lows and it's making lower highs. We were here, came up, push. So if it continues down that trend, which is really good, that would be good. I read a book one time, and it was called the Market Snipe Strategy. Francis Hunt has a volatility funnel, high volatility funnel, HVT I think. But basically, these funnels have personalities of themselves. These little funnels, which are like these little ascending, descending little moments, these funnels capture volatility of a stock, and volatility, a certain range of controlled volatility is essential to become a successful trader. And I'll repeat that again. A controlled amount of volatility is essential to be a successful trader, because periods of high volatility mixed with periods of low volatility give you an opportunity to capitalize, because volatility is going to be crucial for you to have a profitable trade. Now, this video is going to be a little long because it's a live trade. So what I am going to do is I'll keep talking, try to keep you guys entertained, but I want to show you that what we're looking at right here is I'm just going to kind of show you what I see, and this may not be for everyone, and these videos will be a little bit long, but look, DGAZ level 2, 79 times 100. Remember, each one of these represents 100 shares, a minimum. So if you see a 1, it's 100 shares or less, 70. So you have a lot of people selling off, a couple buyers there, and you have a lot of people right here wanting to buy. Now, you must ask yourself, what's more important for a stock to go up? Do you want more buyers, or do you want more sellers? Or if you think about that question, it seems like it would be common sense. But a lot of people don't take that into consideration. If there's a lot of people selling, then it's a good chance the stock normally is going to push down, and that is a direct relationship with buying. So a lot of times we want people to keep buying and buying. Like we want DGAZ to keep selling. Yes, keep selling DGAZ, because if DGAZ keeps selling, it can push the price down. Now what we don't want to see is like this. We don't want to see a lot of UGAZ selling. Now it is going to go back and forth, but what you really want to look for is what I would call big players, like big 300, 400, 200, 300, 400 orders for that. Again, we have this little ascending path that's up, up, pull back, up, pull back, and our pullback here is still in line with here. So with this pullback right here, it is a strong bearish pullback for the last 10 minutes, but we're still well above here. So we're still well above these marks right here. Again, we are overall still in an ascending pattern. And then UNG right here, if we just look at this from this point of perspective, you know, we do have a high potential for UNG to continue moving up. I'm not going to do that line like that, but maybe we'll kind of put it like right here. It doesn't have to be exact. And maybe we can get a funnel to maybe kind of move this way, so we can pull up hopefully and continue to move up this tunnel. And maybe when we get up to this point right here, you see right here we got up to this point and it came back. So if we continue this way, most likely when we get to this line right around here is hopefully a potential breakout between here and here. Now at the same time, you know, this isn't saying, oh, this is going to happen, because I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the potential of an uptrending pattern has the potential to cross above this and continue up. But it also has the potential to come here and push down through here, you know, from there to there. So the analysis side, the technical analysis side, says that from a 20-day 1 hour perspective we are in a bull market, but in a 5-day 5-minute perspective, for the last hour we've actually been in a bearish market, is what it's showing. Not a bearish market, but a bearish funnel. But if you have an overall bullish trend, you're going to have bearish trends, small bearish movements. In if, let's say, from point A to point D, so from point Apple to point Delta, you have a bull market. It's very possible you could have some bear markets from B and C on your way to D, but as long as the points from A to D continue to move higher, it's okay if you have some bear tunnels and some bear volatility in between that. What we want is a clear, concise direction to where we continue to see lots of sell-offs for DGAZ at 79, more purchases for UGAZ, and we want to continue to see that pattern repeat itself. We are testing the exponential on the 5-day 5-minute for DGAZ right here. We're testing it coming up. We really want to get tired, test this, and fall through. A lot of times you want to try to assign personalities. I like to assign personalities to the charts. I like to think about the chart as a fight between the bears and the bulls, maybe like a boxing match. So right here, the bulls are punching, the bears are punching hard on DGAZ, bringing the natural gas down, but then it takes a break and maybe it punches again, but I'm hoping that it just uses too much energy and continues to push down. I represent the energy of the chart through the number of pricing, so 79 is adding to the pressure to pull down because it's more than this. So I kind of try to figure out like little ratios like that and just kind of keep with them in my mind, especially for some day trading. If you're doing swing trading, it's not necessarily as essential. You still want to have a general guidance of what the stock is doing, but the perspective of a day trade is so many more things to take into account in a smaller time frame, because a smaller time frame is a lot more volatile position, whereas the longer your time frame, if you're going to hold a stock for a year, there's no sense in even looking at it. So I don't really recommend the type of analysis I'm doing unless you're doing shorter term trades, or just in general if you want to I mean, you still want to do analysis for any version of trade, but watching what I'm doing and plotting through the day, I'm trying to leverage the future reports in the current bull market to try to leverage that. That's all I'm doing for this day trade. And I'd say for the most part today, I'm somewhat in some successful positions. The main thing I'm really trying to accomplish from this point forward is I'm really just trying to keep a position at a low price in a stock that's in an uptrending pattern that has been uptrending and uptrending and uptrending and uptrending, and I want that to continue. So that's the essence of what I'm trying to accomplish with this trade. Alright, so what I'm going to do is throw a little pause on here, and I'll let you guys know if anything significant happens. Okay? Boom. What's up, guys? I'm back. So what we're seeing here is a little push up here from natural gas. A nice little new candle starting out, which is good because we're breaking across a previous support. DGAZ is doing the opposite. It's kind of what we were waiting for earlier today. Really want to get up, and I really want to get above this middle Bollinger Band. So I have a Bollinger Band. I'm approaching the middle Bollinger Band, and I'm above the median average. We have a crossing right here. Remember how earlier I was talking about the crossing of that purple and blue line right there? So the purple crossing up on the blue is favorable. Again, nothing's perfect, nothing's 100%, but it's definitely favorable. So if we analyze this, let's kind of look at what we see. We see UNG over here on a 5-day, 5-minute, right? Let me pull this out for a bit. We see UNG in a 5-day, 5-minute, really in a state to where it's just bouncing up. So it's definitely in an uptrend, right? Clearly, I don't think anyone is going to deny that. Now, even though we're in an uptrend, we have been in a bearish funnel lately, so we're continuing to push up. Right, we have our relative strength index right around 50, so we're kind of in a nice, decent deal range. Good price. MACD shows it is in the lower portion under the half, but the lines are crossing, heading up, so they're heading in a positive direction. And UNG and UGAZ are basically mirroring everything the same. Now, while that's happening, we also notice that on DGAZ, we're kind of pushing down the RSI, still around. They both are actually at a good price to buy right now, but just because something is a good price, does that mean it's a really good deal? Not necessarily, because we kind of got these MACDs pointing down. We kind of got this tunnel going down. Got a lot of stuff going down. You know what I mean? So that being said, let's go look over here. Level 2 data is showing us twice as many sellers than buyers for DGAZ at the current moment. UGAZ has got more buyers than sellers, so definitely looks like it's, in my opinion, based on what I see, I think it looks like it's pushing up. Uh-oh, 6% battery. I might have to pause and go inside real quick, guys, and I have to pause and go inside, man. Oh, there's a nice little jump there. That's always nice to see in the morning. Big jumps is big profit. Well, big jumps can also be big losses too if the jump's the other way, I guess. I guess that'd be a fall. So actually, if you really notice this, as the SPY goes down today, if you notice, as the SPY goes down, there seems to be a correlation with UGAZ and UNG. So what I'm noticing here for this funnel right here, we had a big up funnel in the same time as that down. So if you think about it, uh-oh. Sorry about that, guys. The battery, the battery died. Okie dokie. Oh, so let's take a look here. So looks like DGAZ. So it looks like DGAZ decided to push up, and UGAZ decided to push up right there. Let's see. So let's see if that trend continues. Okie dokie. Alright. So DGAZ pushed up and came back down. Yeah, I mean, I still think it's a fake signal. I think it's fake. And I could be wrong, but just based on the weather report and the futures, kind of feels like UGAZ has, to me it feels like UGAZ has the main, what would you call it, momentum in the market as it is. That's kind of how I see it. You know, to each their own, but that's kind of how I interpret what I'm seeing today. Alright guys, so I'm going to pause this video and I'll let you know if something happens. Okie dokie guys, I'm back. Yeah, UGAZ and UNG looks like it's still trying to push up. DGAZ pushing down. Now what's really interesting is the SPY now is starting to push up. So earlier when the SPY was pushing up, I see it's not actually pushing up, but it has a up candlestick. But earlier when the SPY was pushing up, DGAZ was actually pushing up. But now that's really interesting, because one thing I've noticed is there'll be different times of the day where UGAZ or DGAZ will follow the SPY, and then sometimes they'll switch. So to me it's almost like there's investors that are moving their money and trading depending on what the SPY is doing, whether it's up or down, and they compare that to the future. So it's really interesting. A lot of times it's really interesting to see those patterns, at least for me. Very interesting to see those patterns. Alright. I guess I should be wearing my TRADE hat. Yeah. It's a good hat, but yeah, doesn't feel good. Alright, so what do we see? We see DGAZ pushing down. We see UGAZ pushing up, which is good. Alright, and you can see it's pushing up again, pushing up. 128.84. Let's see, hopefully we can keep pushing up and pulling back like we've been doing and reach our one of the main things I really wanted to reach today was 140, but it may come down to where I really did try to want to reach that 140 mark. Maybe not today, but for this position, because that would be a great gain. Oh, not trying to ignore you guys. I'm just on my phone, and my little app I'm using to trading has been acting kind of weird lately, and I don't like it. I don't know why it's been acting. It's been doing some things that I do not like. So, alright, it's okay. Now it's updated. Because I was trying to update the position because the actual price of the shares was lagged, and there was a difference of 70 cents. And I like to see like 70 cents and $1. Each 70 cents equates to X, and I know kind of where my total PL is, which is my profit versus loss, because I try to shoot for $250 a day, and I'm growing that gradually and trying to work that up to about $500 a day. That's kind of how I do my strategy. But yeah, still pushing up. So we're gonna pause, and then yeah, I'll let you know if something happens. Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Investment Coach Chris back with TRADE. Anyways, SPY shot up, and then UNG was doing well, but now it kind of looks like it's turning the other way. Well, not really, but like we had a thick little candle building, and now it looks like people are selling UNG. Yeah. Kind of in a waiting game right now. A lot of people want to buy some DGAZ right now. A lot of people want to buy some DGAZ right now. So over here looking at the level 2 data, 33 want to buy, 2 want to sell, but it is still, you know, it's red for the moment, but it's a little bit worrying me that it may turn green because the S&P is shooting up so high. Earlier, most of the times today, when the S&P shot up really high, the DGAZ began to follow. That's kind of been the trend today. So, but one thing that is not a terrible thing is we have a downtrending tunnel right there. So, what we're looking at here, basically what we're looking at is a potential DGAZ reversal trying to push up, or we can look at it as, okay, we're trying to push up, but the SPY is still this red line pushing down. So maybe it's a false signal. So when we think about going with our feelings in a stock trade, which human condition will try, I like to sit back and say, okay, what does the data say? SPY, the UNG, the UGAZ, and the DGAZ. The parabolics are still pushing down. There's more sellers than buyers, usually. And then there's a push up from UGAZ. So what we're really wanting is pushing up near that middle VWAP. So now we're pushing up, which that's kind of the move we've been wanting to capture most of the day. That move right there, and we want it to keep continuing up. We want it to keep continuing up, especially to about the 131 mark. But if it hits here, and the reason I'm picking this mark is just because this has been the high point earlier. So we're going to click this about right here. Yep. And then we want that to push up probably somewhere in here. We'll probably give it up for 8, 9, let's see with mine. That would be 9, that would be about a 900 to 1,000. Okay. So if we can pull up to about 138, 139, this will be about $1,000 position that we swung today. So that's kind of what we're wanting. Basically, we've prepped ourselves all day to try to get in early enough, so if we can push up to even just 134, really, that would still be, you know, a decent amount of profit. I would like a little bit more, but if it looks like it's getting fishy, I am going to lock in profits, especially if the profits end up coming up to say, okay, to get about 500. That wouldn't be bad. But what we're looking at now is a potential pullback from UNG. Now, well, hopefully it keeps going up, but eventually it's going to pull back. What we want is, we want this DGAZ to go below this middle Bollinger Band. Right? We can get below that Bollinger and push all the way down to here. There would be a good amount of profit there for us, and vice versa. We really want this to push up from here up to there. So that is kind of what we want. What will it happen? I do not know, but I'm not trying to predict what the stock market's gonna do. I'm trying to see where it's going and jump on for the ride. For some of you guys who are new to trading, you're gonna come across situations where you think you're gonna time a reversal, and I'll tell you, if you can time them, it's very cool. But in my experience, it's a lot easier just trying to find something that's in a general trend, and just, if something's in a long-term uptrend, it's going to have small bearish funnels within that uptrend. Try to jump in one of those bearish funnels in the overall uptrend. That is my advice. I know this video is going to be long because this one's 13 minutes, and I'm going to have to splice the other video when my laptop died outside, so I will put those two videos together. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna pause, and if, well, I say I'm gonna pause, but as soon as I say pause, the SPY does that, and then the UNG looks like it might, yep, keep pushing up. That's good. That's what we want to see. So if you can see there, UNG, now we're crossing above that middle VWAP in an overall uptrending pattern. So the question now is, one of the big questions I have now is, will this continue to move up and will this continue to fall off? So we got our point down here, which is kind of where, if DGAZ gets down anywhere near this line, we really need to think about selling, unless it's just gonna just kick the bucket and just completely die, go down. But no. That's kind of weird. How can UNG be going up and this be red? It's probably about to turn green, but what do I know? Green. It's kind of weird. Alright, so a lot of people selling, a lot of people buying. Push, 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 push. I really wish I wouldn't have done my first day trade before I recorded. I lost, went into CGC and lost $292. So if it wasn't for that, and I just would have stuck with this all day, it probably would have been like a $1,400 day. If I'm saying if it continues the way it looks like it's going to. But what do you do? CGC was whatever. I have the weirdest relationship with weed stocks. I either do really good or really bad. Anyways, what do we see here? We see a drop below the middle VWAP, or middle Bollinger Band. And we are below the VWAP too, because that's what that yellow is. So we're above a VWAP, above a VWAP, below the VWAP. Do you guys know what a VWAP is? For if you're a new trader. If you don't, it's a volume weighted average price. Basically, it takes an effect of the amount of people buying and selling at a certain price versus the price itself. It's widely considered a more accurate measurement for an intraday trade. That's kind of how I would articulate it. Excuse me. And see what happens. 30 people want to buy UGAZ. 81 people want to buy UNG. Now if you see here, you see this big blue bar of volume spiking up. Alright, so we have a lot more volume here, which means usually volume is what's going to be important to push price. Now we have volume right here. It pushed the price up and now the volume died off a little bit. So if you think, oh, I should take profits now, maybe. But if we're pushing this high and the volume's doing that big of a jump with those two strong candles, who's to say this doesn't pull back right around, test this middle Bollinger and continue to move up, which it's you know, it has continued. You know, let's just take this in context here. Up, up, and this is that middle VWAP, and it's been really strong hitting that VWAP and pushing, so there's nothing to say that it can't continue pushing up after a little pullback, and continue to cover our margin and our price. So sometimes it's very difficult as a trader when you're in the profit and you see your position pull back. When you see your position pull back, you have to decide if you can kind of measure, maybe in millimeters, the height of a candlestick. What you can see is the thickness of the body of the candlestick is going to represent the strength of that. Now if you have two very strong candlesticks followed by two green candlesticks followed by a red candlestick, and you're above your VWAP and you're above your Bollinger Band and your exponentials are up, and then you look at your level 2 data like I'm looking over here, and you're saying, oh wow, look at all these buyers and look at all these sellers. When you compare those two things together, you can kind of get an idea of the movement of the stock, and maybe you can alleviate some of your fear of, oh, if I want to sell now, because there's so many times I've sold a stock just to miss out on an extra 5 to 6%. So what do I look at? Well, I look at the bidding and the ask. I just saw a 40-something plus sell on DGAZ. The more I see these sellers beating these buyers, the more comfortable I feel in my position, because I know I'm not guessing at this point. I'm looking at data and I'm interpreting the data correctly. So there are going to be pullbacks, but you kind of have to develop the ability to know what's a pullback buy and what's a pullback sell. Now if we think about where we're at in our Bollinger Band, we know for a fact that we have a line right here, right, on this side, right? So this little piece right here, we can put a little line right here, right? Let me draw this all the way across, right? We're kind of right in here. So we do know that that line is kind of a resistance, but we also know there's not really much of a resistance for today past this point until we get up here to 140. So it's very feasible and it's very possible that we push up and pull back and continue up to this point. And who's to say when we get here we don't continue to break through up, only because the opposite is over here. Yeah, we could pull back to maybe about right here, right, for DGAZ-ish, but we have a lot of margin of loss for DGAZ right here. So, and since DGAZ did such a strong pull up earlier, and it's been in, I think it's down like 70% over the last 3 months. That's a lot. So there's nothing to say we don't finish today, which is now 10:44, 10, 11, 12, 1. So it's 15 minutes till 2 in the East Coast. I'm on West Coast, so yeah. So it's pulling up, right? It's acting bullish. People kind of buying and selling. But where is the overall trend? You know, we said we were going to pop up. We came down. We went back below this mid-Bollinger. And it does feel, right now it feels like DGAZ has the momentum for that little push-up. But we have to say, how strong is that push-up? Are we just trying to just do a little bit of a reversal, or are we going to come up here, hit this exponential, test it, and pull back down? Which is what I'm hoping happens. I want this to come up here, test it, and continue down, and I want this one to come down, test the exponential, and continue pushing up. You know, now if it crosses and it continues pushing up, then I'm going to cut into my profits. And you know, that's kind of lame, but if we look at the overall pattern, we know that UGAZ is very bullish right now. You can't not look over the last 3 months and not see that. But we also know that DGAZ is going to have moments where it's going to test and it's going to try to push back because it's down so much. So is it going to cross the exponential and continue pushing up? Or is it going to resist and come back down? That we don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out, which is okay. We want to figure this out. So now we took I took an extra position in DGAZ, which is about 30% of my position of UGAZ. Yeah, about 30%. So I'm doing that just in case DGAZ does go on a short run. I still feel like UGAZ is going to be the stock for the day, but I'm aware that DGAZ may take a run during that. So I'll buy into DGAZ, and if it pushes up and begins to come back down, I'll sell that. And I'll continue to do that over and over again until it gets tired, and then resume my bullish position in UGAZ. That's my trading style. It's called hedging, and it's pretty effective, especially in these spots right here where you kind of have a situation where the price could go up or down because it's at a critical little average point. So at the end of the day, so now I'm getting ready. If it continues to pull back down, then I'll sell my DGAZ position, and that kind of just hedges my position very quickly. So I've got to sell for my hedge DGAZ position, which looks like it didn't go through. Okay. So now I'm going to put another limit order in for about about 851, 852, 853. So you may ask, what did that accomplish? Really, all that accomplished was me losing like 20, 30 bucks. But I lost 20 or 30 bucks. But if DGAZ continues to go up and it does show a reversal, like a strong reversal, then I can always sell my UGAZ position off and add to the DGAZ if I wanted to switch it. So it just gives me that opportunity. So it's kind of like an insurance bet. I'm fine with losing $20 or $30 to hold a good position on UGAZ. That could give me $800, $900. That seems fair. I think most rational human beings would think that's a fair trade. So if I take 1/3 of the position on the opposing, you know, and I may do it a couple times, you know. Especially at this exponential, only because if it breaks the exponential and goes up to the middle VWAP, there is a potential in there for some profit. I can scalp the other position. I say other position. I can scalp the opposing position before returning to my primary position. So DGAZ, there's more people buying still. UNG, there's a lot of people selling. So it is somewhat selling off at this point, which that's kind of what I didn't want to happen. But at the same time, we have to look at this and say, okay, what's going on in the overall trend? We are still, making higher lows throughout here. So boom. So we kind of have this here. We have this here. Kind of we have this little step. So we have this one, and then we have this one, and then we have this one. So we're still hop, hop, hop. We still have room to keep hopping up. Now, it is showing signs of a big reversal now. So it may be one of those points where I say, oh, maybe I need to add in to DGAZ, but for a day trade. But I still think is an overall pattern. I'm with UGAZ. So I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to watch it test the parabolic, and I will let you know what happens. What's up, guys? So UNG did end up selling off below the exponential and testing the parabolic. So what I've done is I've kept adding adding to my position with DGAZ for the short time period, just to see if it's going to cross above that green line. If it does and wants to continue to push up, then it may be a situation where I sell a little bit of my natural gas position and push that back up with DGAZ. I still believe that UGAZ is going to be the long-term position, but I'm not going to argue with what the current data is saying. I don't argue with the market. I work with it. If the market decides to change its mind, I can't do anything. Okay, so UNG is right there at that parabolic. So it's really interesting because this could go, I think overall it's still going to lean towards UNG, but I do think for the immediate time frame, perhaps 2 o'clock-ish, it may be DGAZ for a little while. But we can always go up here, test the parabolic, and push down. Because at the end of the day, UNG and UGAZ are still on the SMA, and they're still in a uptrending pattern. Alright, I guess I'm going to pause, and if something significant happens, I'll let you guys back on. What's going on, guys? Investment Coach Chris back. So UNG pulled back down again, and looks like it's down here. Hopefully it's going to test this little average we have right here and then continue to push back up. I mean, we had a nice push up earlier, and it was a nice push, but then we had to sell off, and it's a little disappointing because we did pop up above the middle VWAP earlier, and I thought that it was showing great signs of a potential momentum shift, but it did kind of sell off. But you know, looking over here, 5-day, 5-minute, we did a good pull up and we came back. Yeah, we are lower than these other areas, but this is still at a point where it's above this for UNG. So definitely not what we want, but we're going to see if we can continue on this exponential and push up. So I'll let you guys know what happens. What's going on, guys? Investment Coach Chris back here again, and we see a good we saw a sell-off of UNG, which pushed DGAZ back up. We're just now looking for a position. We're in our position just to see if we can continue long. We have broken below this green moving average. And that has not occurred very much, but we're also right here on this orange line. So if we pull this back and kind of pull you guys back, look at a 20-day 1 hour, we're kind of in a pattern where we're pushing up, back down, pushing up, pulling back, but we are still above our original push right through here from a 20-day 1 hour. It just looks like I mean, I still feel like natural gas is the position. I just feel like we're in a trend where DGAZ is just trying to make up some profit from the losses that it's made recently. You know, it's pulling up, it's kicking back, it's pulling up, and I would like to venture to say it's going to keep going down, which it has been doing for a while. So I still think we're overall, I mean, it is showing signs of a little quick little bear move today, but if we pull this back and we look, we can definitely see how overall that, in my opinion, there's a clear direction of this graph. Activate. So yep. Definitely a good pull up. I mean, there's nothing you can say. DGAZ is, you know, it's still doing its best to hold strong. You know, what do you do? I mean, we're clearly in the uptrending pattern, and we're still pushing up, and it's still the cold season. And overall, we're still in a positive percentage for UGAZ, but DGAZ is still, it's still staying strong. It's not wanting to give up. Definitely, it's definitely not wanting to give up. But even though it's not wanting to give up, there's still plenty of room for profit with the UGAZ for our risk management. So it keeps pushing and pushing up towards our previous point, and yeah, when the S&P shoots up, when the S&P goes up, it does have a tendency to directly correlate with UNG today. Mostly, it's usually S&P pushing up is usually signs of DGAZ about to push up. So I'm going to end this position, or not end this position. I'm going to pause, and I'll let you guys know if something happens. What's up, guys? Investment Coach Chris back. DGAZ reached up to this point, which was actually lower than its earlier point, and is now coming back down, which, well, we really want this to break above the exponential and get back to where we were earlier. I'm just really confused at right now what exactly DGAZ is doing. It just seems like some false signals, but they're really strong false signals, because we had the futures report. We know there's cold weather. It seems like there's a lot of things aligning up for UGAZ, and I'm just sitting here. I'm just trying to analyze if there's anything on the news that I missed. I'm going to double check that there is no yeah. So it's almost like people are manipulating this price on purpose. The only thing I can think of is that because DGAZ has lost so much, what do you call it, profit from the last 3 months, that it's just trying to get some of its profit back. Because when a stock has a big jump like UGAZ and EUNG has been doing recently, it is a little frustrating. But one thing I don't like today, I mean, in the overall pattern, we are clearly in an uptrend. But what I don't like is the 5-day, 5-minute for this one. We're still in an overall uptrend, but we are currently showing signs of a downtrend. So DGAZ crossing below that is really good. Sorry, I had a call. And that's what we want to see. We want to see that push up. Maybe we just got in too early today, but oh, excuse me. But DGAZ is now pointing back down. UGAZ is showing a lot of strength right here. But we really want this strength to do even more. There's a lot of buys. It's pushing up now, so there's a couple $100 back, which is good. Alp's currently down about 400 or so, but you gotta remember that's less than 1.5% of my whole account. So my entire portfolio right now, I usually try not to lose more than 3% in one position, preferably 1%, depending on how big of the positions you're taking. But you, as an individual trader, you have to develop your own risk management style. See, this is a great push-up, but the problem is it's so strong. It's so strong, it almost looks like it could cut back. But good strong push. Definitely want to get back above this point. We definitely need to get back above this point, so we can start making some higher highs again. We're okay with the pullback to around the exponential and then a push back up. We are okay with that. So this is really crazy. This big green candlestick for you guys was brought up with this pullback from the SPY. So essentially what that's telling me, kind of what I'm observing, is if the SPY continues in this downward trend from here down, I mean, it keeps changing, but it's maybe a possibility that this right here, if the SPY continues down, right, that's gonna help push gas up. Kind of seems to be a relationship there. We have DGAZ right here approaching the parabolic. Parabolic still says it's in an uptrend, so really want this to go below, and then we want a dot to pop up right here saying it's pushing down. UNG passing back above here. Really would like to cross. We would like to cross this and then continue to push back up through here. We got DGAZ coming down to the parabolic SMR, and people still want to buy it. A lot more people want to buy UNG though. 66 to 83, 150 down here to 8. So if you notice, if you have Thinkorswim and you want some tips of trading, something you can do to make your trading easier, you can click here on Thinkorswim and you can link with color, and you can make like DGAZ, for example, red. I can click here, make this red, which I already have, and then make this red. And what that does is that connects these two. So whenever I click in here, we'll automatically bring up my level 2 data over here. A lot of people want to sell DGAZ right there at 300. I just saw a 300 order, which is good. That's a high potential to push this down even further. We really want to go below that parabolic, and vice versa. We really want to go above it over here. So I'm gonna pause, and then we will come back and we will continue to break down this stock. And again, if you guys like some of these analysis videos showing you exactly what I see from a trader, who's got some experience in the trade, look at the links in the description box. I do have a Patreon where you can, donate a $1 a month, or there's some other amounts you can donate, but for $1 a month you can get on my blog, which is through a Patreon, and I'll post alerts when I see stocks, and you can kind of get a heads up. I'll say, basically, I'll send one alert for Patreons only and say, hey, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this. I get my watch list and I take a picture of it and I set it up there. So for people who want to be potential Patreons or get involved, feel free to check it out. For now, well, there's a little move on UNG over here, which as soon as that pops up, then we see this little bastard over here. The SPY if the SPY starts to push up, that's kind of scares me right now. Like, it's not 100% like the SPY pushes up and UNG falls down, but for some reason there seems to be a correlation where when SPY goes down, UNG pops up. So, but as I say that, there's a pop right there. That's what we want to see. This has happened twice already, and it is slowly chopping its way up, but we don't want to. Slowly chopping its way up is good, but sometimes it's more fun to just take off and get there. Everyone already knows that natural gas is bullish right now, so let's keep it going. Might be a little too bullish though, but all right. So here's an interesting point which we really want to cross. This is kind of where we were earlier in the video, to where before we had a sell-off, we wanted to kind of get down here and capture some of this potential profit. Because you see right here, I drew a line right here earlier across to show that there's a large margin of drop for DGAZ. And earlier today, UNG did do a big push down sell-off. So if we think of physics, I feel there's a big push off uptrend that may be due, just to counterbalance that, kind of like a weight. You would put a weight to counterbalance something that on a balancing act. Excuse me. The volume's there. A lot of volume pushing. Good amount of volume on UNG as well. Relative to the past, there's been some high volume right there. 110 buyers. DGAZ. See right here we had some high volume and a push. So now our volume down here on DGAZ is about half the volume it was when it was high. So lower volume on DGAZ. A little more buyers and sellers right there, but about even. But we really want this. Yeah, we want 30 sellers and 20 buyers. We want more, 30 to 1. Yeah, we want to see stuff like that. That's gonna increase the probability of pushing the stock down. UNG, we have a parabolic dot showing the sign of an uptrend, ending this little down phase we had. What we really want is really to push back above. Now the volume did just push up a little bit, which is telling me that more people are looking at UGAZ. Now volume increasing is usually what most traders and what most books, and I would probably go as far as to say most professional traders. I'm not going to speak on anyone's behalf, but I think if we were to get a consensus from the group, I think we would all agree that volume is a very important catalyst. It's a very important thing to observe. The volume is going to play big in the relationship with you and your stocks. So we always want to be paying attention to volume. So given that on the 5-day 5-minute chart, excuse me, given on the 5-day 5-minute chart that we have increased volume, and the relative volume compared to the last 5, 10, 15, hour and a half or two, increased volume on a strong candlestick. That's not a bad thing. More buyers and sellers on UNG. Another candlestick up, and we're kind of above right there. So we spiked up, came back about a little under halfway, so came back about maybe 55, 60%, and now another pop up, which is good for you guys. You guys pushing up, D guys continuing to push down. UNG, that volume pushing up. What we really want to see now is this volume bar down here. Again, we have one big good volume bar pushing up, pushing up. We want this volume bar down here. We want this volume bar also to increase so we can continue to push up. So we want this volume bar right here. You see how that volume bar went up? We want that to go up, because when that goes up, well, it's not an automatic, oh, it goes up, because it could go up and this could go down. It just means people are looking at it. But in a bull market where something is known to be in a very strong state, most retail and professional traders, with the exception of some specialists, they're going to follow the pattern, because timing reversals can be profitable, but it's much easier just to find something that's going strong and stay with it. If it's already strong, why try to go against it? If there's an alternative to make profit with something that's strong, why not make profit with it until it runs out? What the hell is that? Okay, so yeah, we had a real big pullback from you guys right there, which is kind of weird, considering that considering UNG right here is so strong. I wonder why that pulled back. Double check and make sure there's no news articles out. So no news. Okay. It's kind of an interesting pullback, just with a lot of people are wanting to buy DGAZ right now. Okay. Yeah, but you see this correlation right here, guys? Like, again, I'm not saying it's, oh, this is 100% what's happening, because it's not. Let's see, 30. But this big red candle dip followed by these greens, it's kind of an interesting correlation. Saw a little jump right there on UNG just then, and then that also correlated with a little pop right there. So yeah, right about 130, 180. Yeah, so still kind of holding true. Oh, there we go. There's a big pop. So again, looking at this, what do we see? We see a green candlestick pushing up to where we do have a definite point right here where we definitely want to watch out for, right? This green candlestick goes up to here. That's kind of okay. So we kind of have like a three-step series right here. We want to go up to here, see if we can break through, and if we break through here, which is 31.12, then we'll push up towards here. So that's kind of what we're going for there. Now with this one, make this a little easier. Right click, drawings, remove drawings, remove trend lines. Yes. So those are gone now. So now we have about here. And then we have about here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to buy some DGAZ just for a little bit. And the reason I'm doing that is because I still think UGAZ is the stronger stock. But if DGAZ does push up a little bit, I can pull back on those profits. A lot of people still want to buy gas though. So basically, sorry, I kind of zoned out there for a second. Sorry about that. So basically, by buying into DGAZ right now, if DGAZ does decide to do a quick reversal pop, I can sell that profit because I still think UGAZ is the dominant position. I really do. But there could be some money to make a quick sell on DGAZ. Could be. Excuse me. Because we do have a big problem. I mean, we have another $900 to $1,000 profit range right in there, on top of our current position. So basically, I really want DGAZ to keep pushing down is what I want, which is fine. I'm 100% cool with that. But if DGAZ does shoot up very quick, then I will be making money on DGAZ. But if it turns out that DGAZ is just kind of testing it and go back down, I can sell off the position, and keep my hedge good. So basically, the way I look at it is, if UGAZ continues to go up, I'm not making as much percent, still making money percent, but if it goes down, I'm also losing less. So given the current state, I don't think that's a bad bet. And then UNG is showing that little bearish little thing over there, or not bearish, but well, it was bullish. And then SPY is coming up green. So the SPY decides to push up to there, and we'll probably sell off our DGAZ position. UNG is pushing back up a little bit. UGAZ. Yep. So it could go a few different ways right now, but I'm in both positions. I'm on both sides. So at the end of the day, I'm really just I am ready. At the end of the day, really, I'm just ready for either position. Really feel like it's I really feel like it's UNG that's gonna eventually push back up, but the way the charts are looking, it looks like DGAZ may do a quick little push, just briefly, just like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing DGAZ push up just a little bit. So I might take that and then sell at at 844, 843, which is good. Lock me in some profit there. So now so I bought in some DGAZ, it went up, and then I sold, so that locked me in a little bit of money, and now I'm hoping that UGAZ continues to push back up. So if it continues to push down, then what I'll do is I'll add to my DGAZ position, and if not, if it continues to push up, I'll just hold, because I'm happy with my current price pushing up to the 138, 139. But if it pushes down, then I want to make some, I can make some money, or I won't really make money as much as I'll cut losses. But if you have a situation where something goes down and you lose money, or something goes down and you lose less, and then as it goes back up you recover, if you sell the opposite position on a low point before it rises back up, then you can actually prevent a loss, make some extra money with a little hedge. Oh, excuse me. That was, excuse me, guys. So, so at this point, I got a little bit in DGAZ still. Got a few hundred shares in there. Just in case, we hit something really weird and DGAZ wants to start taking off, I can, by the time I get ready to add to that position, I'm already in a good spot. And, if UGAZ continues to go up, then I'm still doing decent. given that the amount of my principal in DGAZ is about, at this point, 5 to 6 times greater than my position in UGAZ is about 500 to 600% greater than my position in DGAZ. So I just put a little bit in there just so I can add to it, just if I need to. Really wanting the SPY to keep pulling back, and again, there's a margin of profit here that we've been playing with all day. So I really want to increase the potential for that margin of profit, but that's only going to be possible. That's really only going to be possible if UNG continues to push up, which, as much as I want to happen, the more I see the SPY push up, the more that's making me think that that may not happen. But if I see this start to push down, I feel like these future reports in SPY, they're somewhat entangled today. So entanglement from an atomic perspective, or quantum mechanic perspective, just very small things. Entanglement, two things can be attached, but you can't really notice, and they affect each other. So entanglement in stocks is something we can kind of look forward to. So now we see another push up from UNG, which is beautiful, because that push up is going to be reflected into our UGAZ position. I mean, it definitely should be. So now we'll take our DGAZ position, and now we'll we're going to sell it. So we're going to put a sell there. I think that we're kind of done. I think we're kind of done with DGAZ for now. So now what does that do? Well, what that does is that opens us up for, if we have a big push in UGAZ, now every penny it pushes up is now an additional advantageous penny. So now it could be very well that I sold that and made a mistake, and now DGAZ pushes up, and I wish I would have still had my hedge. But with 300 people wanting to sell DGAZ, and the SPY pushing down, with the SPY pushing down, people wanting to sell DGAZ. Now there are a lot of people wanting to sell UNG right now too, which is a little bit, but then we have also people that want to buy it at this price. So, you know, at best we attempt to get a higher probability between two choices, but how much of a percentage between those probabilities, that is the question at hand. How much leverage can we really know in a market, or in something that is as volatile as a commodity or a gas or a future? We don't know. We can't quantify it. We really can't. All we know is based on what we see in the data that we're interpreting. So we have DGAZ 1, and we have 30 and 50. So actually, this price point, I believe, is currently wrong. It says 131.17, but we're well above that. I think we're more towards the 40 and 60. Well, I don't think. I know, because I can see it over there, which is really interesting. Okay, so now we're at the 58 right there. UGAZ just pushed up across our first red barrier. Yep, that's our first red barrier, which is good. We have a couple right here. We really want to see if we can continue to push up. Okay, so we're above the Bollinger Band. I'm going to take this right line right here. I'm going to activate. I'm just going to slightly move it up a bit, just slightly. See, DGAZ is showing signs for a lot of buyers, but again, DGAZ has been given kind of some nasty false signals today. Like, yeah, it's had its runs, but I don't understand. I mean, I think I understand what it's trying to do, but I don't understand, like, who's believing it. The only thing that I can articulate to you guys is that I feel that it's because you guys jumped so much in the last 3 months. Some people just wanted to cover some losses today, and were just willing to short and buy and do some unconventional things to get rid, because it's winter. I think I've said this like 10 times in the video, but it's cold. The futures are saying it's a cold winter, and we're expecting Americans to use heat. So Americans are using heat during the winter. That's going to increase the consumption of natural gas, and increasing the consumption of natural gas is going to make the resources of gas more valuable, and due to scarcity and supply and demand, that should drive up the price of natural gas, hopefully. Now that's looking at a long window. So now we're showing a couple pullbacks. Now we're showing DGAZ there. So I want to see if DGAZ tests that purple exponential. And if it tests that and begins to pull back down again, that's kind of what we want. But if it turns out that it hits that and decides to push back up, then what do? Well, that's when we decide to hedge again. So if it decides that it does want to continue pushing up, then, you know, we'll go right back to DGAZ. I'm on my phone, just getting prepared just in case. And, you know, we'll get a nice position in DGAZ if that's what it wants to do. Or we'll look at the false signal there and say, oh, okay. Because again, UNG is coming down to touch this line and hopefully test it to continue up. And if that's the case, which again, push this button here. I mean, let's take the case. We take this case and look at it, you know, we just look at this from a 20-day, 1 hour perspective. You know, what do you see? Like, what do you see? You see something that pushes up, comes back to the purple line, pushes up. Now we came back to the blue line, and now we're exceedingly going up. You know, we have this little funnel here. We have this funnel, this long range funnel, and we want it to continue. We want it to continue. Maybe we'll put a little midline right here. Maybe a little midline that shows, hey, there's some volatility there. So we have a little minus line right through there. Alright, well, that's exciting, isn't it? It's exciting to see your position go above a line that you drew and head to that next one. Because we are not done, fellas. We are not done. At least I don't think so. I mean, we could be done, but pushed up, and now you have a heavy hammer pulling this down. Think of like this huge thick candlestick as a weight, just dragging this down to the bottom of the depths of the ocean, from which all the bears will get entangled and pushed down. And this is a nice, happy, beautiful little balloon that's just flying the bears up. Yeah, nice, happy balloon. Yeah, we want to make money with everyone. We want to all make money with something that people are using. We don't want to bet against it. We want to be part of the bulls charging ahead all together in a big pack. That's what we want. Oh, look at that beautiful jump. That's a beautiful jump. So now what we want is we really want to continue that high. We want to continue to push that even higher. Now, at this point, we have to see how high can we go and how low is this one willing to go. That's what we have to figure out. So this is just a in case any of y'all are actually watching this whole video, we're up about 420 bucks right now in this position, which is nice. And I've literally recorded the entire thing. That's a great mark, which puts us up to about 500. Now we have to decide, when do we want to take profit. I still think this is going to keep going until we get to my red line that I've drawn. That's kind of what I was wanting to bank on the entire day. Not bank on the entire day, but oh wow, look at that jump. It's a huge jump. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful jump. And the thing is, you know, you might think that like being up on the 500 on it is like, okay, we want to just lock in profit now, and we really do, trust me, we do. But it's just such a strong move. It's been so bullish, such a strong candle. The volume's there. I mean, I don't see why this can't be one of those that continues to push up to here and make a new high today. So the question now is, and this is one of the biggest areas of where my improvement as a trader is, and I'll let y'all in a little secret. You have to decide when it's time to lock in profit. Such a strong candle, the volume's still there, it's such a strong move, but the question is, if it's such a strong move, it can't just keep going, right? Well, this is still pretty recent. It just kind of just happened, so I don't see why there's no reason we can't get to around right in here. And I think that's kind of where my sell point would be, especially since more people are buying. There's a few people selling the UNG over here, a few people selling, but So we want to pay attention to here, or at least for my opinion, is what's DGAZ doing. So what's DGAZ doing? What's UGAZ doing? What's UNG doing? And what's SPY doing? And do I need to buy DGAZ? People are selling DGAZ. So now, if people do want to buy DGAZ, or if they're going to do that with DGAZ, what I'm going to do. You see UGAZ is there, but UNG has still got another green candle coming up. And that one's red, so this one's probably about to turn green. So still shooting up, which is good. Still going up. Excuse me. So what do we see? What do we see? What do we see? We see UNG still pushing up. It's getting a little bit overextended for the day. Sure. Without a doubt, it is overextended temporarily. But what do we see? I mean, the futures reports are out. We've hit this and we've come up. I think we're going to continue to go up, you know, right around this area right here. It's not out of the question to keep pushing up around these two areas and see how much profit we can really milk out towards the end. The upper Bollinger Band is still pointing up. That's a very bearish, awesome indicator. Still pushing up. Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gas man. Look at that run. How beautiful is that, guys? It's beautiful. People are still selling DGAZ and they're buying and selling. Natural gas is still pushing up. I mean, the next support level really is not until about 138 to 139. So given that gas is 31.27, 27.28, you know, more people, 69 people still want to buy at 27, which is more than the sellers. So given the current supply and demand of the dimension of this stock trade, it seems very rational and very possible that it'll continue to go up, which is pretty awesome. UGAZ is still going down. That's a good jump. So for you guys looking at this, $631 profit and still going. Something that's really beautiful about this trade right now is the construction of the trade. Right here, we have a lot of people still selling UGAZ and a lot of people still buying. Still people selling UGAZ and still people buying UGAZ. So, alright guys, so for this position, it's going to keep going, and I'm probably going to sell out and take my right up now about 680 bucks because it's getting close to that line, and call it a day. So I hope you guys have a really good one, and remember, if you have any questions, just let me know. Well, thanks for your time guys, and you have a great day. Okay.